It's Canton's Morning News. Here are Pam Cook and Gary Rivers.
7:50, 10 minutes now before 8 o'clock on News Talk 1480 WHBC. We chatted about this a little earlier this morning. Think about this.
Oh, we have a guest coming up, right?
She's on our WHBC Newsline right now, divorce attorney Melinda Eitzen. And the question is, does a couple's drinking habits predict the likelihood of divorce? Good morning, Melinda.
Good morning.
All right, so does a couple's drinking habits predict the likelihood of divorce?
Well, they've done a study, and the study shows that it's not whether or not they drink, it's whether or not they drink the same amount. So 2 people who are heavy drinkers or 2 people who are light drinkers, they're just as likely or unlikely to get divorced as the rest of us. But if they don't drink the same amount, you have a heavy drinker and a light drinker, they are much more likely to get divorced.
All right, does that do the same thing with coffee in the morning? Because I'm a little worried about Pam and I. So when she drinks a big cup, I've got to drink the same amount. Otherwise, is that the same logic here?
The study's still pending on caffeine.
Just making sure.
Well, I think that seems to me like that would make a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because if you're somebody who doesn't drink, but your spouse is, drunk all the time,
right?
Then don't you? Then
Unless you like being separate, and he's over there drinking, and you're over here doing your thing, and then that works too. I know couples that do well because he lives half the week here and half the week somewhere else, and they like that.
Well, and one interesting additional fact is, if the wife is the heavy drinker, they are 3 times more likely to divorce.
Really? Now
Yeah,
I wonder why that is. Because she can't take care of the husband if she's drunk all the time?
Because if the dinner includes brandy every day,
right.
Maybe.
It's because,
right?
I think it's because the woman couldn't take care of the husband like they expect.
Oh, gosh, here we go again.
I'll tell you my theories, Pam.
Yes.
One theory is that if you look at the stereotype that men are still the bigger wage earners, then women may be willing to put up with a drunk husband because they financially cannot afford to divorce.
Okay.
Second theory
that makes sense.
Is if you look at the stereotype that women are still the primary caretakers of the children, then men may feel like they have to divorce to protect the children if the woman is the drunkard.
Okay, that would make sense as well. Now, you are a divorce attorney.
I am indeed.
I mean, if people are looking towards divorce, is there any golden rule or anything like that, rule of thumb that you need to follow if you're considering divorce?
Oh, great question. I just came out with a book that I co-authored called Considering Divorce, Critical Things You Need to Know. And it's everything that I wish over the last 20 years people had read and known before they got to me. Mm-hmm. And that includes wait to have an affair until after you're divorced.
That seems safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which then technically it wouldn't be an affair. So a little simple way to put it is don't have an affair.
Right. But then you wouldn't go through the divorce and you wouldn't
because does it make you legally responsible for something if you have in some states it might, but aren't there no-fault divorce states as well?
Yes. So it's not that it's that legally significant. It's that it makes the other person so mad that you can't settle the case. Or it takes a lot longer to settle the case. So then they're paying me a lot of money, which I appreciate, when if they had just waited, they could settle in a much easier manner and less expensive.
Okay.
Must be a difficult choice for you as an attorney.
I know. I'm torn about it, really.
Gee, do I make a lot of money? Do I help the marriage out? I don't know.
Rough.
Well, it's a tough decision, but it's just part of your job. It's what you have to deal
is.
with, right? I understand that. Well, that's an interesting thing. What made you get into this this whole thing with this study?
I know, it's interesting, isn't it? Well, we always like to be on top of what's causing the divorces and how can we help people. We really do prefer reconciliation if it's best for them. And so they've done this study in Buffalo, but they also did it in Norway with 20,000 couples in Norway. So it's interesting to see. You would assume alcohol would affect people, but not exactly how we might have thought.
Got it.
Now, they didn't study if they're both heavy drinkers, other ways that probably ruins their lives. that wasn't part of the study.
Yeah, because they can't get to work or whatever. I mean, really.
Right.
Yeah, when you think about that stuff. Oh, well. Melinda Eitzen, a divorce attorney and co-author of the book Considering Divorce, Critical Things You Need to Know. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pam. Thanks, Gary.
Pam Cook and Gary Rivers on Canton's Morning News.